Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. Joe Burrow is sad. The media loves Josh Allen, never holds him accountable. Lamar kind of looked Lamar-ish a little bit last week. The state of the legacy quarterbacks. Who are you most sad for, brother? Who brings the most empathy or gets the most empathy from you,
Who gets the most
from
empathy?
our legacy quarterbacks, if any of them?
I don't think any of them do. I don't think any of man, because Patrick Mahomes, he's been there, done that. He's been, I don't know. He has enough. He has enough rings. He's won enough. This is his first major injury, I think. Probably, I know for the
Oh yeah.
NFL. I don't know if he had a major injury in college, but I think he had like a few ankle injuries or knee injuries or something like that. But it didn't keep him out for too long. But yeah, um he's good, and the Chiefs weren't going anywhere this year anyway. So like, I don't feel bad. ACLs are like they're nothing in the NFL anymore.
Yeah.
He should be good. If not week one, at least the first quarter of the season, he should be fine.
All in for week one.
Um, yeah, well they are. They
He
said
said
that.
it. Stupid.
Josh Allen. We talked about this last week. I said, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Granted, they did what I thought they could do. I don't know if it's still sustainable because it's Josh Allen or bust right now. He's just making crazy plays, and I don't know if he's going to be able to carry that, 3, 4 games in a postseason. That's going to be tough because at the end of the day, he can't stop the run at all.
Travion Henderson looked like
Man,
Corey Dillon in his prime out there,
they
man.
can't stop. They can't stop anybody. Um, Lamar, Lamar looked back to normal, but I think that's a product of, what's crazy watching these three teams. When I feel like watching the Ravens offense, it's like nothing seems easy.
Yeah.
And when nothing seems easy, that's on the play caller. As far as the passing game,
Mm.
Josh Allen, a lot of quick game, quick screens, things like that. Even Patrick Mahomes, like, I don't want to say he's not a system quarterback because he does a lot of off script stuff and he has great arm talent. But man, when it's time to make a play, they draw up a play that's very easy for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like when the Ravens need a play, it's Lamar just making a spectacular play most of the time. Now the out and up by Zay, that he caught in the corner of the end zone, that was a really good throw,
It's nice.
really good route. But nothing seems easy for them. So it's like Lamar a bust technically. Right now it's Josh Allen a bust. I don't think that's sustainable. So I don't feel sorry for any of them. All that to say, like, yeah, if anything, the Ravens are in a position because Lamar did get hurt, but I mean they shouldn't have lost those 2 games in a row. Shouldn't have lost a few early in the season. So they're in that position because of them. But yeah, I don't feel bad for any of them.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for any of them either. I know people would probably expect me to feel bad for Lamar. I really don't. You know, don't lose a double digit lead in the fourth quarter in your opening game
Yep.
to Buffalo. And you're 8-6, and then maybe you only need to win 2 of these last 3 or something like that. That's why the start was just so terrible. To start 1-5, because the middle of the season was always cake. And anybody looked at that schedule immediately when it came out, we knew the middle of the season was going to be cupcake. We also knew the back end of the season would be difficult. You and I might be the only folks outside of New England who are not surprised the Patriots are this good. We said it. You can go find it. When they hired Mike Vrabel, I was so mad. I'm like, they got a guy that can coach.
Go to the NFC, bro.
Right. Like, why you coming over here? They got a grown man, a leader of men who's got defensive schemes, who can coach. They're always going to be disciplined and in the fight. So it's like, all right, goddamn. Tennessee done messed up. Well, I know they wish they could have that one back, but that's a different conversation. Pause. What the hell is Cam Moore doing saying I want to be involved in the head coaching search. Like, bro, you've looked terrible this year. What do you mean you want to be like? Go read defenses.
Terrible.
Go get in the film room.
Terrible.
Like,
Like I don't. These quarterbacks. It's the blame NIL, man.
like mad entitled,
I sound like an old head.
mad entitled. We do not care. Like,
I sound like an old head.
not
Like say
entitled. I'm
you.
like, bro, you've look. Now, granted, that roster and that team is awful.
Oh, it's awful.
So I don't know if he's actually terrible. I will give you that. They're so bad, it's hard to actually know if he's actually that bad. So in a lot of ways, they do have to bring. I mean, they obviously have to bring him back, which sounds weird that we are in the age of sort of dumping quarterbacks after the rookie year. So you do have to say that they'll bring him back, and then they've got to get that roster better just so they can actually see if he's actually any good. Plus, there's not a good quarterback draft this year. Although I've heard reports that they're thinking about taking another quarterback with the first pick. I don't know how much of a growth, leap Fernando Mendoza is from Cam Ward, but you know, they're building $1 billion stadium down there, so they got a few years to get it together. Because I don't know who's buying them PSLs with that garbage they're putting on the field right now.
Is it indoor or is it a dome
It's indoors, yeah. Everybody
or
going to
retract?
this so they can
Okay.
host a Super Bowl once every
Yeah.
25 years. Like I don't understand it. You're losing a lot. I guess I do understand it. No, I don't. I just changed my mind twice. Because it's like I'm going to Matt's end, but I'm gonna bring it all back together. I promise. There ain't but so many Super Bowls, Final Fours, and Taylor Swift, Beyonce, SZA, Kendrick Lamar concerts to have. Like, and if you'll notice, most of the people who are filling these stadium tours right now are artists who came out at the tail end of the last decade. Like I know Post Malone did a stadium tour. I don't know about Jelly Roll. Maybe he's a little bit newer. Luke Combs did a stadium tour. I heard of all them people before 2020. Beyonce, Ho, SZA, Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa. I'm so okay. Cool. Are we building billions of dollars in venues to host 9 football games a year and 6 or 7 concerts? Like, we don't live in a world anymore where that many people are going to be able to grow a following big enough to do a stadium tour. If you know somebody who's doing stadium tours now, who you did not hear of before 2020, feel free to let me know. Drop it in the comments. But anyway, totally different tangent. That I'm not understanding. Like you losing some aspects of your home field. Like when you play indoors and on carpet. I'm sorry, I don't even know if a lot of these places have home field advantages in the same way these old indoor places. Right? Like the Superdome is still loud. All right, that place is different. It's built in like the 70s. Lots of different renovations. Cool. The Falcons still haven't hosted a playoff game in their new place. The Georgia Dome was loud and hype and with the home field advantage, and that was a place you did not want to go. They closed that thing out with Gucci Mane with Aaron Rodgers on his back. I'll never forget that day.
Crazy.
But anyway, everybody want to have an indoor stadium, and I don't get it. Bring it full circle. I don't feel bad for none of these guys. Lamar needs to win out to be able to get in the postseason. Might be his first time in a minute not being in there. Totally fine. Joe Burrow, we can talk a little bit more about his sadness, so I'm gonna save that one. Patrick Mahomes, and look, get better. It's actually my man Mike said this one time. It was years ago. Mike Murray, you know Mike. Shout out Mike. Somebody was on, I think Jonathan Isaac tore his ACL or something. And everybody was talking about how, oh, you shouldn't say that about him. He just got hurt and all this other stuff. And this changed my whole perspective
Dead.
immediately. He was like, ain't nobody die. Yeah, all right. Look, and I'm like,
Bro,
you know what?
he's literally all right.
He's right. You're right. We don't have to talk about Patrick Mahomes ain't dead. He tore his ACL. He still has half
Had
$1 billion
surgery the
contract.
next day. He had surgery the next day.
Surgery the next
And
day
he's fine.
by one of the most revered doctors in the entire world. Healthcare completely covered. It's going back to his estate that he built from the ground up. Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about this man like, woe is me and his life is over. And you know what really made me no longer care about these injuries? I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I broke my own ankle, I had to do everything that they do to rehab, except I had to go to work with a lunch pit. You know what I'm saying?
You had to still go to
I
work.
had to still, that's their job. Like, so
Literally.
that's literally their job. Like, they get to train and rehab all day with the best care and the best physicians and the best therapists. I'm not going to talk about this man like he did. I'm not. He'll be all right. On to the next.
And I hate to sound like just I guess it sounds bad, but when you really think about it logically, and I'm just a logical thinker, he's not dead. He's not hurting. Like initially, he was hurt, but come on, man, you had the surgery, move on. Like you're gonna come back. Like I said, you're making all types of money. Like nothing. It's literally he's good. So I just don't feel sorry for. Now, if he had a career ending,
That's
maybe,
different.
but an ACL, even an Achilles tear, now you're still back within a year.
You are
You may not be your same, may not be the same, but the following year, you eventually get back. If Kevin Durant can still average 25, come on.
in his 30s.
In his 30s, we forget that, hey, man, he's up there with LeBron.
Nah,
Like,
that
bro,
hair don't
pushing
let me
40.
forget. The-
Hey, I just seen a podcast. He was on Fred Van Vliet's uh, podcast. Fred was like, man, why you don't brush your hair? He said, for what? He said, man, I used to care, but I'm like, I don't care. I want to hoop. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't care, then you don't
That's
care.
what's up.
You making $50 million a year to hoop?
Good for you.
Hey, you comfortable with yourself? Man, all he cares about is
That's
hoop.
all. He love
And I'm
ball.
not mad at it. That's it.
He love ball.
He don't care what you say about it. That man get high and play
Nah,
ball.
I tell
That's
he
it.
do that man. He is a stoner. Like the level of stonerness that he has like risen to. I mean, I think he's always been one. There are lots of
Yeah,
stories about
me
him
too.
from the DMV, but like he's the openness behind. Yeah, I'm about to go smoke this weed. Like I think he is.
Uh-huh.
LeBron is annoyingly into wine, like almost like I'm gonna drink me a glass of wine. Like I'm kind of getting tired of his,
Uh,
shit, but that's a different conversation. Um, but yeah, KD is a mad stoner. But the thing is, though, bro, that's fine, and we love that you're comfortable with yourself. But there are some things that, as a community, we still gonna clown you for, and you're not brushing
mhm.
your hair is one of them. And you got to know and understand and respect it. Like it just is what it is. That's part of the culture. If I go out here and not brush my hair, like it's okay. Like you gonna get clowned, bro. That's just the way it is. No one cares that you're
Yeah.
making $50 million. You know what I do love and respect about KD though? When folks fire shots at him, he doesn't do the usual celebrity rich person cop out. Like
No,
he
I
coming
love
at
it.
you with some fire, and I love and respect because that's
Yep.
lame. Like, oh, I got more money. Boo, we don't care. That doesn't matter. You having more money is illogical. Like, be smarter and be more intelligent. He don't do that. He come at you with. I do respect that about Kate.
And then the funny part about that is when people who he's taking shots back at get mad, like, why you talking about me? Why you worried about me? You're famous. What you mean? You in my DM or you in my DMs, you in my mentions. I'm gonna say something.
That's okay.
I'm not hurt.
That's okay. I ain't never seen him do nothing like that's actually disrespectful. He ain't talking about nobody, kids or disability or nothing like. He be firing, very appropriate, but still like, ooh, okay, bang, bang, like Mike Britt, and I love it. Bring it full circle though. Main reason why I don't care, you just brought it up and brought it full circle. He was on Fred Van Vliet's podcast, who's not playing this year because he tore his ACL. So you ain't got ball, but you got a whole nother stream of income over here from
Mm-hmm.
just talking to other
Yep.
celebrities. I don't feel bad for you. I do not care. I'm glad your surgery went well. Wish you the best. Uh, See you next season, maybe. If you miss a few games, great, cool. I'll be fine with that. Um, Biggest pressure is on Josh Allen. Nobody wants to talk about this. Everybody just lets him get away with everything.
He's the
I
darling.
think it's the blonde hair that he can put his fingers through his hair and
I was gonna ask, why is it? Bro, even with we do know why. We do know why. Because I'm even with Joe Burrow, as bad as his defenses are or have been, when he has a stinker, he's not, and I'm not a first take guy. If I'm on Twitter, X, whatever, and I'm scrolling, I catch like snippets. I don't watch first take. There's never a 2 days, 3 days worth of segments on why Joe Burrow didn't win a game. Josh Allen lost 2 straight this season and played bad.
To terrible teams.
And James Cook has really been carrying.
You can't say that.
But you cannot say that. But that guy in
You
Baltimore,
can't say that.
that guy goes 2 games without a touchdown pass, even if they win.
The world's falling
Oh,
apart.
yeah. Man, what?
Yeah.
All because, and you know why? Because Josh Allen almost beat Patrick Mahomes like 18 years ago. Almost.
I don't understand. First of all, we do know why, and if you don't know why, it's the white boy wonder is hard to compete with in this place called. Uh, Buddy went to Wyoming. He's got that whole like
Underdog.
Midwestern, New England, Southern. This is our son thing going for him, and it's not.
And he's in Buffalo.
And he plays in
They
Buffalo.
need somebody like that.
He plays in Buffalo. I will contend that if he played in Los Angeles, for example, and had the same sort of career arc, things might be a little bit different. Might approach him, and because he's got a Hollywood wife. Nobody seems to kind of care or talk about that. And to be clear, like I don't have no beef with Josh Allen unless they're playing the Ravens. I actually kind of like it's cool in my book. I will say it's bothersome the way that he evades criticism in a way these other guys can't. I think the biggest thing is Joe Burrow also too though exhibits a lot of sort of personality traits that we identify with black men. Period. The swagger, the fashion, the hair. Just the way in which he carries himself is quote unquote swag. I think you might consider a little bit hip hop. Like the Dolphins would probably say he's too hip hop for them, in the same way they said about Mike Tomlin. I will say this though about Josh Allen. He ain't done nothing that Lamar Jackson hasn't done. And so he better get to the Super Bowl this year. Or I am personally going to dedicate my offseason to talking about how Josh Allen hasn't accomplished anything. The same way we take all this time to talk about Lamar and say he hasn't done anything. Joe Burrow, at least getting to a Super Bowl does buy
It's
you.
an accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment.
It
buys you. That's why we don't
But
normally
Joe
do
Burrow's
that.
time is kind of.
Period. He got there. You know what I'm saying? That takes a lot off the plate. Josh Allen ain't done nothing. Lamar Jackson ain't done. I don't understand why we give him. You got an all-pro running back, right? You got one of the best top 5 offensive lines in the league.
Offensive line.
Now, your defense can't stop a nosebleed, okay? But that might partly be because of all the money they've got invested in you. Hey, man, I need you to show something. You're supposed to be, and you won the MVP over one of the most historic quarterback seasons ever. Like, that's going to look worse and worse as time goes on. It's fine. Lamar should have had his third MVP, different conversation. But, like, bro, you got to put up or shut up, man. Like, get to a Super Bowl. I'm tired of you being close. I'm sick of this.
Especially because, think about this, if Ravens don't make it, there's no Lamar. There's no Burrow. There's no Mahomes. Like, it's you, that guy in the other division, or the same division. So, y'all split the regular season. Let's just say the Patriots put them out. Like, what's the excuse? You're going to say there's no excuse. Like, at that point, I need to be hearing the same conversations that they talk about with Lamar Jackson.
100%.
Like, okay, why didn't Josh Allen beat Drake May, or why didn't he beat CJ Stroud, or whoever it may be?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now they should be, they're in the driver's seat for the #1 seed. Now, if they stumble another game and the Patriots end up being #1, then the 7th seed will likely be, man, you looking at whoever wins the AFC South is going to be, the #2 in the AFC South will be 6 or 7.
6 or
So
7, yeah.
probably going to play the
7.
Jags or the Texans, and that's not going to be an easy game.
No.
By the way, the Jazz are kind of winning me over. Oh, that's another story. I know we talked last week how we don't trust the Jazz. I don't know. Liam been dialing it up,
Hey
man.
man,
I don't know.
I'm coming around on a couple of them teams. It took me a
I'm
while.
coming around, bro.
It took me a while. I'm all the way in on Houston now. Uh,
You,
I'm all
yeah,
I'm all the way. I didn't want to be. I was like, I'm holding these chips back. No, that defense
listen,
just be
what we
throwing.
talked about the three things: competent quarterback play, rush the passer, run the ball,
That's it.
and they definitely rush the
They
passer.
can do it. Man, they be throwing grown men
And they,
around like rag
bro,
dolls, man.
like they look great, and I'm happy for that, bro.
That defense plays with a nastiness that make you think it's 1987 out here. And I
But yeah, all that to say is Josh Allen has no excuses.
got no excuse, man.
None this year.
You gotta get to a Super Bowl. And
Yep.
honestly, there's nobody in the NFC that you should lose the Super Bowl to, except maybe the Rams. That's the only team across the board that I would say might be able to stack up with Buffalo, pound for
Yeah, because
pound.
without Micah, I'm out on Green Bay.
Yeah, with no Micah, they can't run it to the back. Like
Yeah, because they
unless Jordan Love just goes Super Saiyan, and like that's possible. But like
it's possible.
Jordan Love could also go 16 and 32, one touchdown, three interceptions, and complete
Exactly.
49% of his passes. So
Exactly.
we just we
Exactly.
just aren't sure what we're gonna get with Jordan Love.
I was in like all in. Number one, like I felt like they were the best equipped, but without Mike, I'm kind of, you know,
It's a tough
I'm not
road.
bullish on them anymore.
Yeah, Josh Allen gotta get to the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, you need to win it. Otherwise, I'm dedicating my entire offseason to a Bills retrospect. I'm going to invest in getting better at editing TikTok videos and clipping all those late game sort of misses and against the Chiefs and the collapses and all this other stuff. Yeah, like I'm tired of your biggest accomplishment being you played the Kansas City Chiefs close a couple times in the AFC title game. Enough.
That's it.
Enough.
And always lose.
Go win a Super Bowl. Um, Speaking of Super Bowls and quarterbacks who haven't been there, and these guys won't ever get there. Tua got benched. Just maybe not ever. I mean, there's a list there that might get Tua. Tua is not getting to a Super Bowl
Tua's not getting there.
as a starter. He knows it so much so he just out here in the press conferences just being completely honest, like basically like, yeah, man, I can't make that throw. You've never seen me make that throw at this level. Why are you asking me if I could make that throw? That's essentially what he's saying. I'm like, bro, you gotta lie a little bit. Like, come up here
A
and be a
little bit.
politician. It's crazy. Old man Rivers.
Man, but with Tua, man, we seen like as a college quarterback, everything was like had to be on rhythm. When he was on rhythm, everything was fine. You know, when things aren't on rhythm, you know, the run game isn't working, they're not falling for the RPOs, you know, it's tough for him. He's already undersized. He doesn't have great arm strength, but with timing and precision, he's really good. He throws a catchable ball, but if he's not on rhythm, he's not your guy. You don't pay that guy 50 million. They did anyway. They
That's what
that's
they
on
get.
them. That's what they get because for one, you could have drafted Justin Herbert. That's another story. But like I know they're kicking themselves right. I don't know how many years he has on his contract, but you just got to eat that and just rebuild.
That's gonna
Let
be a
that
heavy,
debt. I mean,
heavy cap hit.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I will say, I'll give them a little bit of leeway there. In that, I ain't gonna lie, I did not think Herbert.
Yeah, he was looking. I didn't
I
either.
didn't think he would be this.
I'm talking hindsight. I'm talking hindsight right now because I just thought, you know, he was at Oregon. He wasn't great. I guess the traits were there, but I can I feel like it's kind of hard not to take Tua in that spot
Yeah,
because of what he did in college.
yeah. Tua looked like that guy. Herbert was very much so quick release, check down. Like that offense was just so
Mm-hmm.
tailored. I thought he was a nice little West Coast quarterback with long blonde hair, and
Mm-hmm.
he was gonna look cute and be a nice little signal caller to sell some tickets. But didn't think he had the guts to be a leader of men. I was old man Rivers went to Seattle and survived. JJ McCarthy
Survived
actually
as in
looked
didn't get
competent
killed.
last Sunday night. He looked
He
good.
did.
I'm sorry, I take that back. He looked good. He did not just
He,
look
he, he
competent.
did. He did. He did look good.
Now that's 2 weeks in a row.
I don't want to call him. I'm not a hater. I just let me see the end of the
You
season.
hating on JJ?
No. I'm saying I'm not a hater. I just don't think he's going to be very good.
No, me neither.
But that's just me. I just need to see I just need to see more.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So that's all I was. I didn't want to sound like a hater and saying I'm not convinced.
oh no, no, you don't have to sound like that. Look, I like JJ. I want him to be success. I was buying all the propaganda out of Eden
Yeah.
Prairie the last couple off seasons. I'm like, yeah, he's the
Oh, I
next coming
wasn't.
to John Elway. I was eating it up. Give me the Kool-Aid. And then I actually saw him, and I was like, this guy's not an NFL quarterback. Might be in a few
I
years.
saw that Falcons game.
That game was terrible. He looked. That's one of the
Yeah.
worst quarterbacking performances I've ever seen in my life, hands
He
down.
couldn't complete a deep out route,
It's pretty
and
bad.
that showed me what I needed to
It's
see.
pretty bad. Plus, we actually watched college football and never saw him really make those kind of
Mhm.
throws at Michigan. But I will say, I want to say, hey, yeah, JJ, he can play this at this level. But also, the last 2 weeks are the Commanders, Cowboys, who have really terrible defenses.
Bad defense.
So you know, is
We'll see.
we'll see. Now, the thing seems to be like, do people just not like him? Like, is he not a likable guy?
I think like behind the scenes, he's probably a little douchebag.
That makes sense.
I don't know though, but I don't hear any good things about him.
Yeah,
Like I think that's why, or he may come off as fake, or I don't know, but I think that it's something to that.
it's just I don't. You don't see, and maybe I'm not as dialed into Vikings, post game pressers as I should be, but I don't really see folks. I didn't really see a whole lot of guys coming to his defense strongly. I didn't see really anybody throwing him under the bus. And then the whole story about Kevin O'Connell telling him not to do the gritty, and then he did the gritty anyway, and then he mentioned it after the game, and I'm just like, all right, this is your own handpicked guy, and you're a quarterback whisperer. Do you not like him? Like, are you like, yeah, you're actually a terrible human being? Get the hell out of here. Or are you just mad that you kicked the can on Sam Darnold, who is now having a great year in Seattle? By the way, I don't know if you saw the game last night. Did you see it? One
Did
of the best Thursday night
did
games probably ever.
I did,
Fire.
and we were just talking about how we don't believe in Sam Darnold, but he did though. He turned the ball over, but he came back.
Here's the thing.
That was a good game.
Here's the thing. Oh, JJ looked good. We'll see if it continues. Here's the thing about Seattle. I've seen this movie so many times before. Like I literally saw it this time last year. Now he did show some things last night. He made some amazing throws. At the same time though, they were some amazing catches.
Even a wide open touchdown,
Even the
almost
wide open
overthrew.
touchdown. So he had a few interceptions last night. Defense kind of bailed him out. I want to believe in Seattle. I really, really do. I might believe in them a little bit more now that they got the inside track to the number one seed. But it's still a matter of, okay, if Jalen Hurts and Philly are coming into Seattle, am I really trusting Sam Darnold over
Trust.
them? You know? Like if the Lions sneak in and Jared Goff and the Lions are coming into Seattle, am I really trusting Sam Darnold over the seat? Like I don't know. Are your chips in on Seattle yet? Did last night convince you?
No, because without a missed chip shot field goal, we're not even
Oh,
talking about this. Rams could have won this game. Matthew Stafford threw for over 400 yards without Devontae Adams. They were up by 14.
yeah, poking the cool up like Jerry Rice
So
last night.
yeah, so Rams could have very easily won that game, and now we're talking the same old Sam Darnold, and the Rams are the best team in the NFC. They play again in the postseason. Like I got to go with the Rams fully help because, like I said, they could have easily won that game. They did lose. They split the regular season, but just they can't. As good as that defense has been, Matthew Stafford threw for 400
Yeah.
yards. So I mean, is that going to change in the postseason? Now, if the Rams have to go to Seattle, that weather, that winter weather, like that does change some things, but I think that keeps the game closer. That keeps more of a defensive running game battle because, who knows what the weather's going to be that time of year.
Yeah.
If the Rams get home field advantage, they're inside. They don't have to worry about it. Listen, you don't want the NFC doesn't want the Rams to get the number one seed because if they're in their comfortable environment,
Beat them.
I don't think you're going to beat them. Now they have to go on the road like they did Philly last year. Still had a chance at the end, but
So
cold weather. Yeah, exactly. That snow that makes a difference because of playing style. They run the ball, but they want to. Now, what I will say last night, what I was surprised, I think Sean McVay said, you know what, we're gonna punch him in the mouth because they ran the ball a lot early. And I think it was one particular drive. They just said, we're gonna run the ball 3 straight times and see if we can move the defensive line because that defensive line is really good. But this team, I mean, even with the loss, I feel like the Rams are the better team. And I feel like they're the best team in the NFC, might be the best team in the league.
yeah, I mean, I'm still honestly. I think. Well, let me put it to you this way: I'm not a believer in Seattle yet. When I look at the NFC field, I start to become more of a believer because I'm like, all right, who do you have to beat? Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Jordan
You can
Love,
do
Jared
it.
Goff. Now Brock Purdy is playing better. I was not a believer in the Niners, but since he's come back, their advanced metrics and the eye test say that team is a whole lot better than it was. I would be a little bit concerned about them. You know how I feel about Kyle
Mhm.
Shanahan before the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. Best coach, I want him 100% before the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. After that, you can have him. But up until that point, elite. Where I'm coming out a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah.
more though right now is when if I'm like, I have to pick somebody in the NFC. Obviously, last week it was the Packers before Micah went down. Now, as
Mhm.
terrible as they have looked at times this year, I'm like, we don't have to see Philly in the Super Bowl again. Huh? They gonna
Bro,
find a
like
way to
I,
get it
I
together.
still I still am not like Philly can get like as bad as they've looked,
Yeah,
just saying they have the recipe. They're without Jalen Carter and Lane Johnson for another week. And I think they're literally saving them for the
right on
postseason.
time.
So get them too healthy. They're still going to try to run the ball. They haven't done well this year, but they still have those two number one receivers. They still have Saquon. They still have a great defensive line. So right now is the playoff picture. If everything stands, 49ers will go to Philly first round.
Oh, that'd be spicy.
So three is 3-6. Green Bay will travel to Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised. It's still, Caleb Williams. Like I gotta see it. I gotta see it in the postseason. So that wouldn't surprise me as an upset. And then the Bucks against whoever wins the NFC West, Seattle or LA. So
Oh, right now would be the Rams at the Bucks,
yeah, right now it
but
would.
Seattle's sitting out. Seattle's sitting out and getting that first round bye. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know, man. We got a few big games this weekend that might try to lay a little bit more of a picture into this Saturday night. Actually, I don't know how I feel about NFL games being on during college football playoff action. Although
I don't like it.
I hate it. I'm like, man, give these kids a little bit of a spotlight here. That being said, the 7:30 game is James Madison in Oregon. We're gonna circle back to that in a minute. That game ain't worth watching. That we will do that preview in like 15 seconds. Um, Packers, Bears, Jags, Broncos, Patriots, Ravens highlight a pretty big weekend in the NFL. You talked about the Packers and the Bears. The Bears currently, what is that, the second seed? Um,
Mhm.
currently number two seed. It's crazy what can happen to you in a week. I mean, even the national media was all on the Green Bay train, and they were the favorites. And then they go out to Denver. Micah tears his ACL. They look human. Now they come back, and they are currently the seventh seed, just a little bit of a game above Detroit. And they got a really tough schedule down the stretch. They get Chicago this weekend, like we said, and then they host Baltimore before they end the season at Minnesota, which I don't think is as easy as it might seem, even though Minnesota's at
Not at
contention.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Who you got? Who you got Saturday night? You think Caleb Williams is gonna have the same performance he did last week? I will say he looked good last week. His advanced metrics have
He
not
looked
lined
good,
up with
man.
a good quarterback the entire season, but the last couple of weeks kind of been turning the corner, man.
Man, I think it's I don't want to say it's all Ben Johnson because that's kind of disrespectful to him. He's got him playing well and doing the right
Yeah.
things. And and they look like it looks like he's not asking him to do a lot, like do everything. I would say not a lot, but he's not asked to do everything. So it's kind of working for him. They can run the ball. And that's why that specifically is the reason why I wouldn't be surprised if they win a postseason game
Yeah.
because they run the ball well and you still got to go to Soldier Field. It's cold. Again, competent QB play, rush the passer, run the ball. If you can do those three things, like you can win a postseason game. I don't care what seed you are. So I feel like he can still. It wouldn't be surprising that they win this game. I think I don't know how that defense is going to look without Micah, but I feel like the Bears still should pull it off. Honestly, is it at Soldier Field
They are in
or is
Chicago,
it at
good
Green
brother.
Bay? There's, I'm going. I think I'm going with Caleb, man.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears too. I watched that game a couple weeks ago. They played literally just 2 weeks ago up in Green Bay. Chicago had a chance to win that towards the end. It's just a lot, I think, to ask Green Bay to play such a game on the road in Denver, sort of have that emotional sort of
Mhm.
deflation of your best defensive player who you just got in the trade earlier in the season, have that season-ending injury. And then they haven't like he's been covering up a lot of holes on that defense. It's not just
Mhm.
in sacks, right? It's in quarterback pressures, it's in disruptions to the
Pressure,
play,
man.
it's in throwing off timing. They don't have anybody. And I know football is really next man up. No 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 no.
No, no, no,
There is no next man up for an All Pro pass rusher. In the same way, there's no
no.
X man up for next man up for an All Pro or Pro Bowl quarterback. That's not how this works. You can't scheme your way back to being as disruptive as Micah Parsons is. And not a huge deal. They are elite athletes in great shape, but you're on a short week coming from the elevation in Denver to a not as frigid, but still cold Chicago. And I know Green Bay is used to that, but I'm saying like the change on that short week in terms of at elevation to a place that's really, really flat. Yeah, I know. There's probably much smarter people who do the science thing relate to that. I'm not just saying there's a lot of factors going into this for them. Yeah, I think Chicago wins it by, I think I would say 10 points. That's pretty high. Um,
10 points? That's pretty
I
high.
think it's, I think it's, I'm worried about Green Bay not necessarily unraveling. I think they're too well
Yeah.
coached for that. And I think it's one of those things where like there's a late drive, maybe it's a 3 and out or a turnover, whatever, and then they get some garbage time point. Because Ben Johnson strikes me as a garbage time coach. Like he's not gonna
Yeah.
stop trying to score points. Right?
No, I
He
don't
could
think
take a
so.
knee or run the football. He's gonna keep throwing it. Like that's the kind of I don't. He's a little bit of a turd. Like he strikes me as a little bit of a turd. And this is
Yeah.
this is all like just perception. I know nothing about the man. He's probably a really great individual, upstanding in the community, faithful to his wife and kids, and so on and so forth. But he gives off turd vibes.
And there's nothing wrong with
And there's
that.
nothing wrong with that. I actually want my coach to give up.
I was about to say, as a head coach,
I'm
yeah.
kind of tired of having a football coach who's a nice guy.
Hmm.
Harbaugh.
I don't
Uh, like we could use a little bit
always
of a
says
jerk.
the right things. And
We
yeah,
could use a
I
little bit
need a
of a
joke.
jerk. All right, that's all I'm saying. Jags Broncos,
So
man.
we're
Who you
both on
got
the
out there?
Bears.
Hmm?
We're both on the Bears. I just don't see it as 10 points, but I'm still with them.
Yeah, we both on the Bears.
Uh,
ESPN predictor says 58.8% Green Bay, which means nothing, but I thought I'd say it.
Jazz Broncos. Man, I told you I'm all. I'm not saying I'm all in on the Jazz, but I have the Jazz.
Duval.
Oh, I got the Jazz, man. Trevor has been playing like the guy we've been waiting for.
Yeah, finally
Five
something.
touchdowns, five touchdowns. Had a rushing touchdown. Like
It was against the
he's
Jets.
finally. It was. You're right.
For the
But I feel like he's been putting it all together. Um, I feel like that offense is clicking. Defense plays fast. Broncos. Listen. I've been a fan of Bo Nix,
You have.
and I have, and I've been trying to tell people like, yeah, they winning these close games, but they're winning the same way. Like they win with pass rush. Bo Nix doesn't have to be great, but he's gonna make some throws that you like, bro. This is an NFL starting quarterback, and I feel like He can make those throws. He can, scramble for first downs. They run the ball well, but at the end of the day, man, the pass rush. Like it's like you're guaranteed that, man, you're having 4 or 5 sacks a game. They're going to sack the pass. But I think I got Jags in a close one, a little bit more offensive firepower. I think, yeah, I'm rolling with the Jags, man. I don't want to say I'm all in as far as they're going to win the AFC or anything like that, but I like the Jags, man.
You sound all
They're
in,
growing on.
man. You sound all in.
Not yet. If they beat the Broncos this week, you might be able to convince me.
All in. You might be all in. I get that. Um, I don't actually quite know what to fully make
Of
of
the Broncos.
Denver. Um,
Yeah, it's weird.
Weird, very talented team. Should be considered one of the favorites to come out of the AFC. When I look at the totality of their work, and I've watched quite a few of their games. The close week 2 loss to Indianapolis by a point, 29-28. They went in that London game, barely won that, squeaked that out on a last minute field goal. The comeback of all comebacks at home against the Giants, who are terrible. Jackson Dart played pretty well that game. Their most impressive win is probably the 3-point win over Houston from early November. They went to overtime to beat the Commanders, beat the Raiders a couple weeks ago by a touchdown. I mean, it's the NFL, so like blowouts are few and far between, and everybody doesn't need to be a historically great team. I think there is a world to where that couple year stretch from the Ravens, people kind of got a little, you know, what's the word? Just got used to dominance in a way that we don't need
Hmm.
or expect from every team. I like Jacksonville just because I kind of want Denver to lose, and what I mean by that is I'm a little concerned about the number of one score games that they've been able to pull out. There might be a little less of a sense of urgency as they prep this week with the Chiefs being eliminated and Mahomes being out. And I know people might say, "Oh, well, the Chargers are only 2 games back." I don't know if they see the Chargers as a legitimate sort of contender to them winning the division. I personally don't because they get a chance to play Kansas City without Patrick Mahomes next week, and I think they only need one more win actually to lock up the division. I have
To
to look at
clinch.
the tiebreaker because I know they closed against the Chargers, and theoretically they both could go 13-4. I don't see the Chargers winning out. Nonetheless, if they were to win this week and then they win next week, right, and they go into the last week, this is a weird explanation, but they'd be 14-3 or 15-2 going into the postseason. Is is that really a 15-2 team?
I think it's a 15-2 team. Like the teams they've beaten, you got to take that into consideration. They've beaten some bad teams, but like even the like last week, people were like, you know what? Let's see if he can. Let's see what Bonus does against what did they play last week? Packers.
Mm.
Let's see what they do against the Packers. First team they've played in a while. They beat up Raiders, Commanders. Before they played the Chiefs, it was like, hey, can he beat Patrick Mahomes?
Done.
So like they keep checking the
That's real.
boxes, but you're still wondering if they're good.
Yeah,
But I really feel like it's because of all the bad teams.
that's fair.
But I mean, they can't help the schedule. But every test, they keep checking the box. But it's a different story in the postseason, obviously. And what can hurt them, and we're like, I'm looking in the future. Let's say they get the number 1 seed, they lock that up. Let's say they lock that up before the last week of the season.
Yeah,
Do they play starters? Because if you don't, you're missing that week, the next week because you have a bye. Now you have 2 full weeks before you play, and then who knows, 7th seed, depending on who it is. If it's the Texans and like they advance, you don't want to play the Texans coming off 2 weeks
yeah.
of not playing. So it can kind of hurt them. But I mean, obviously, like I said, we're talking way in the future, but it's like one of those they've deserved, they've earned right to be the number 1 seed. Obviously, like I said, they beat bad teams. They've also passed a lot of tests, but Wouldn't be surprising if they got beat first
I
round.
wouldn't be surprised if
Second
one and
round
done.
because
Yeah.
they'll have to buy.
And that's the thing. And I don't want them to be. I want to believe in this team, but they're also one
Yeah.
of the prime sort of 14, 15 win one and done teams I might have ever seen in my life, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. The I think it's the 2010 or 2011 Falcons, 2012 Falcons maybe come to mind with that. The team that went 13-3 and then got boat raced by Green Bay. Like we weren't really
Was it Green?
surprised.
Yeah, it was Green Bay.
Yeah, like we weren't really all that surprised. Like they were
Mm.
good, but they were kind of a prime. Like I don't know if this team is really 13-3 good, and Denver's kind of giving me that. Number 7 seed could be the strongest 7 seed since they did the expansion. It has a chance to be Buffalo or Houston, and that's going to be trouble. The other team that still has a chance to get the number 1 seed
Beat
could
Jacksonville.
be Jacksonville. Lord.
This is what I'm saying. Because if Houston wins the division, then Jacksonville slips down.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, that's gonna be
yeah,
rough.
you're gonna have to be ready. Other team that has a chance to be number 1 seed is New England. Travels to Baltimore this weekend. I really want to know your thoughts on this one. Who you got?
Because of the way, where is it?
It's in Baltimore.
Because of the way New England lost, I think they're gonna come out and play a lot better. Do I think New England's gonna be 21-0 on Baltimore? No. Um, I will say I don't know what happened in the second half, but Buffalo figured out Drake May. And if anything, I'm going by history. Zach Orr and whoever the defensive coordinator has been in Baltimore, the second half of the season,
Yeah,
they play better. They had Joe Burrow in shambles last week.
they did. He looked like a deer in
Like
headlights.
bruh, listen, it was cold. Um, it's gonna be cold again. So mixing up the pressures, Hamilton, be Cal Hamilton. um, I feel like, and I think the Ravens sneak it out, man. I really do. And it's harder because of New England coming off a loss. And they're like, man, if we lose another one, now if Buffalo wins, they're the top of the division. So they're both in a spot of desperation. They want to win the division, and Baltimore likely has to win the division to even come be in it
I think they
because
have
I don't
to.
see Houston. Yeah. The only way is if Houston falls apart and lose two straight because they have the tiebreaker. Um, so pretty much Baltimore has to win out. At the very least, they have to be Pittsburgh and New England this year. So this week, I'm sorry. They win those two games, they're likely in.
Yeah,
So I think desperation. Lamar played much better last week. They're finally getting to a point where they're not solely trying to run Derrick Henry. Like they're rotating three backs right.
I'm like,
They actually are playing more play action because they need to. So I think like last week got them in a better rhythm. But man, I got this as a close one still. But I feel like Baltimore gets it, man. Maybe that's the homer in me,
yeah,
but I don't know. I've seen I watched both games last week, and when that offense is clicking, if Lamar is actually running the ball, it's hard to stop. The problem is he hasn't been running, he hasn't been taking off, so there's no threat. You don't have to put in a spot, and you haven't been running as effective. So if you do those things, at least attempt to run the ball. Lamar has to run the ball. You put that defense in a bind. If you don't do that and you're just trying to pass them, you're living in shotgun. You're not going to beat a Mike Vrabel coach team.
yeah. No, I agree. I don't think it should be in a homer. Look, I think the Ravens will squeak it out. I think it'll be a close game. I think they'll get over the hump. I don't even think that's being a homer. I think it's just par for the course for how they play. That has no bearing on whether or not I think they'll beat Green Bay next week or Pittsburgh in the final game of the season. They just seem to do just enough to rise to the level of occasion and keep themselves
When
in
they
the
need to.
hunt. If that makes sense. And the deciding factor for me is it being at home. If it was in New England, I would very easily pick the
Yeah.
Patriots. I think Drake May might look like a second year quarterback next year. They found some things on defense. I know they studied what Buffalo did, and whatever Buffalo did on defense, I think this defense can do better in the second half against them. So I like them to win. They have to beat Pittsburgh, I think, last week of the season
I have
to
to.
be in. If they win all three, they're definitely in. Two of the three is about an 80% chance to get in. But I like the Ravens for that. But I still think the Patriots are a strong Super Bowl contender. Um, Last stop here. Who you got in the national title game? We're gonna do a quick little college block here. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going with
Let's see if
Indiana
we
and
got the
Georgia.
same one. You going Indiana,
Indiana.
Georgia?
I hate picking Georgia. Let
I
me be clear. Hate it. I do not like Georgia Bulldogs. I do not like them.
kind of hate it too.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
I don't like anything about them. However, they have flipped the switch. Kirby Smart has found something. They are in a stride. I think they play Indiana,
Mhm.
and you know what? I'm that guy. I'm gonna pick Indiana to win the national title.
You gonna pick
I
Indiana?
think that team is still that good, even if it's a bunch of
Yeah.
JMU guys. Um, I think you're gonna have to come with a lunch pail, and some Bengay to play up against them. I think there's an element of after a few games, Georgia will be feeling themselves. They'll be a big favorite in the national title game. Everybody will be telling them how SEC is so dominant, and Indiana gonna give them a nice little taste of their medicine. They'll win a close one to win a national title. I actually think Tulane beats Ole Miss tomorrow too, and most of that is just like me trying to do a little bit of something different.
Yeah.
They've played each other
I feel you.
before. They've seen that look. I think there are reasons someone could pick Tulane. And the last part for me is it doesn't really matter because neither of them are beating Georgia. So if you want to pick an
I
upset,
know.
go ahead and pick Tulane.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bracket now. I feel like I do like Georgia. I'm going Oregon.
I love it.
I don't know what it is. I'm a believer in Oregon
I
this year,
love
like
it.
Dante Moore. I love Dan Lanning. They got beat bad by Ohio State last year. So I think he is not going to be a repeat of that. They have James Madison. They should definitely blow them out. Then if they beat James Madison, they'll play Texas Tech, which, man, that's going to be a really good game. That might be the best game of the second round because if
Yeah.
all the, if all the favorites win, you have Oregon versus Texas Tech, Indiana versus Oklahoma, Georgia versus Tulane, Ohio State versus Texas A&M. So I think Texas Tech against Oregon, that 4-5 matchup, that's going to be the best second round match. But yeah, I think Oregon, man, um, play fast, they play physical, and you don't think about when you think about Oregon, you think about the old Pac-12 days, but that's not
That's not
Dan Lanning. Like they play a physical brand of football, and they have a good quarterback. So and I would love to see Dan Lanning, facing his former head coach in the national championship.
go.
And it's going to be like styles clashing. Well, not styles clashing because they both play the same kind of brand of football because their coaches are kind of wired the same. But yeah, but that it wouldn't surprise me if Indiana, squeaks it out. And both matchups I would love to see because that Indiana man, like nobody still believes in them,
Which is crazy. They just beat Ohio State.
which is
Like beat them.
they just beat Ohio State.
Like
Yeah,
not
man, I
like
do
blew them
want.
out, but like you know
Yeah,
like
I know.
mano y mano in the trenches.
Yep.
Like yeah, I'm all in on
So
that.
yeah, I'm going there. I'm going with
I
Oregon,
like it.
but
I like that.
you know,
That was my
wouldn't
second
wouldn't
pick. I
surprise
have
me.
them playing each other, and I'm like, which one? And that was actually kind of a
Hmm.
toss up because it's hard to beat a team twice in college.
Yeah,
That's like beating a team twice in the regular season in the NFL. Y'all playing in the playoffs. I'm always gonna pick the team that lost the two regular season games in the postseason in the NFL. So we might get into
it's hard to
yeah.
it's hard to go against Cincinnati. So I feel you. That's a well coached team,
Well,
and that's the perfect example of you know what? I know that team isn't as talented as me physically, but their head coach and those players they bought into that program, and man, they play ball.
will not beat themselves.
Nope.
To beat Indiana, you will have to play your best game and have your best game be better than their best. And that's a hard thing to do. Like I think that's what eventually sort of edged me over Oregon is that
I feel
obviously
that.
very well coached, well disciplined. Like they got a little piece of the SEC up there in terms of just how Dan Lanning constructs rosters, and I would love to see them win one. I think they're long overdue. And we don't talk enough about that, but like if there's a program out there that needs to win a national title,
Or
It's the time.
imagine they already recruit well. He already recruits well. Bro, they win one, Big Ten money, it's gonna be
Might be a little dynasty up there, man.
man for real. All it takes is one.
Might be a little
You seen
dynasty.
when Georgia finally won one?
The
They came back
floodgates.
dominant the next year.
Floodgates.
They should have won. They should have got in the following year. How you go from 2 to 6? Whatever. But they could very if they would have got in, they very well, maybe 3 straight. I'm glad they
I'm
did it.
glad they
But
didn't get in. I don't got no
yeah,
love for the Georgia Bulldogs. But it's all good.
but yeah, man, that it wouldn't surprise me if they win one, like that becomes a little dynasty, man.
Hey, we're gonna see. But next time we get on here, Kalen DeBoer might be the head coach of Michigan. So we'll
He
see.
might.
Y'all make sure y'all check us out on all 22. We'll be back next week with a little college football playoff recap. And then we'll see just what the hell is happening in the NFL. Who knows? It's like an ongoing soap opera now, man.
Right.
Happy holidays.